Ahoy, mateys! 'Tis I, Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, and I be here to tell you about me newest crowdfunding campaign. The adventures continue with me crew, the Mighty Mascots, in issues 7, 8, and 9. Just focus your looking glass on the amazing artwork of Ian Warianto and Anton Bondi. Me crew, the Mighty Mascots, are up against some scurvy scallywags, and we need ye help to defeat them. There be a bounty of exclusive treasure, only available here, where X marks the spot. I spy a huge coffer of bonuses and stretch goals on the horizon. Then please consider pledging so we can continue these adventures with the weirdest crew I ever had the pleasure of sailing with. Mascots Unleash!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots. With me, as always, Johnny C., creator of Sartana and Surrounded by Death. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? How are you doing?
Good. It feels like it's been forever since we were last on, doesn't it? Like
it does.
I don't know why.
That last episode was great, though. I actually ended up making friends with Gary Dumb.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to bring that up for a second, too. I wish, we'll have to have him back on the show because I wish I was a little more prepared for that interview.
Yeah.
Because, I didn't want to bring up American Splendor. I knew he worked on it and everything, and but I wasn't sure to what degree and, all this stuff. And I love to do research before. And after the show, I showed Amy the movie. She hadn't seen it. And
oh, yeah, the movie's great.
The movie's fantastic. But then, I looked in the credits. He was in the credits as, because I guess some of the artwork in there was his.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I would have loved to talk to him about Harvey Pekar and his relationship with him and and that whole thing. Did he know Robert Crumb? Did he work with Crumb? All that stuff, I'm always fascinated by that 70s underground comic movement,
that was the true to form independent comics. They paved the way for us now.
Yeah.
So yeah. I have such a grand respect for that era and creators from that era, and me and him have been exchanging emails, and I slid him a copy of Surrounded by Death, and he really enjoyed it, which in turn kind of just elated me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great. Did he send you anything, or is he?
I bought the books that he was talking about, Fire on the Water, and
cool.
He had another book called Zombie Moon that he recommended because of Surrounded by Death.
Nice. So he actually did a zombie book?
Yeah, something, yeah. I'm not too sure if the title is literal or not, because a lot of his work is satire. He did send me also a couple of there are art pieces that are kind of have a political message to them about contamination and food and wasting power. But it's all done with horror characters.
Oh,
it's
interesting.
So awesome. Oh, it's so awesome. He's got.
That whole movement was political too. If you think about it, that's 70, because it was just a reaction to the mainstream at the time, right? And hate and all those comics. I think anything from Fantagraphics too, that they republish now, is a lot of that stuff from the 70s.
I feel like we're almost in a recycle of that era in some ways.
Yeah, definitely.
You could even say that the current state of comics is kind of a reflection, or maybe in some ways an anti-reflection of what was going on in the real world.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I love the other thing I love about it is their stuff was just like you said, true independent, but just a smidge above Kinko's you know what I mean, like folding the paper and bringing it to Kinko's, like, but it was like, I don't know, it's like, and they were doing like comics at a time where like it was hard to figure out how to even print comics, you know, like without
good
like,
old school like zines, basically.
Yeah,
you know?
Pretty much, yeah. You had that
Very
definitely feel
school
to it, you know. Like I feel like I wasted having him on the show when I could have been asking him all this stuff. But also, it felt like kind of like, well, I got to feature this thing that they're doing, and
well,
you know.
I don't think it was a waste because it was really great to have Scott on as well last week, and talk about Amen. But
I shouldn't say a waste, but like a missed opportunity. You know, like
I think if anything, it was an introduction, right, to some who don't know who he is, and actually, I don't want to bring it up, but in his exchange, he talked about stuff he's got coming up. That I extended the invite. I was like, well, coordinate with us. We'd love to have you back on.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be great. Even if we have to do a special, one-off or something, outside of our normal schedule, that'd be great. And I'll definitely have to go back and clip some of those, some of the parts with him for the bits segment that I run on Fridays on this channel. Yep. I'll definitely have to do that. So what else? Anything else going on in the world of Johnny? The last 2 weeks?
More work and other things. Kind of enjoying the time off from conventions. But,
right? Oh, my God.
I do have SPX coming up next week.
Gotcha. I got the email today about New York. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to...
Is it like a last-minute invite?
No, it's more like they sent an automated email and saying, hey, if you want your small press inline booth, just respond and we'll send you the paperwork and everything. But I'm like thinking, I don't even know. I'm not even feeling it this year, Like I got the feeling like you were telling me where everything, San Diego, everything was down. I'm like, why would I want to waste all that money and go to New York and just lose money, basically. Yeah. And Amy was like, go ahead.
If anything, I would hold on to that spot though. That's the
just
key
to
part.
Keep it.
Yeah, that's the kicker, right? Because even with me, like I was in AA last year through my good friend Jeff Ryder. Yeah. And I got a pro badge, but this year I was rejected for both Artist Alley and a pro badge. It's almost like they're trying to force me into a more expensive booth or something, and I feel like that might be a sales tactic. So
we're already kind of paying.
Probably skip, but where you have a really good spot in the floor and you typically consistently do well, I have a good feeling that if you went, that you would probably
do okay.
Yeah, and I feel like for all shows kind of generally being down, like New York Comic Con's a pretty busy show where even if you don't slay the convention, like you will probably walk away with a good amount. At least that's what I feel like, only because you've got a lot of new content. Amy's got awesome pieces that she has on the table.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to think of it like this, you've got a campaign running right now still where you could actually promote. If they walk away from the table, you can go, hey, well, at least check out the campaign. You can get some cool stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's
to think about.
Hey, that's somebody who's absolutely loving the downtime when you can get stuff.
That's the thing. I'm a little bit loving the downtime, and the think about the headache of going to New York is like
New York is
giving me anxiety, But I'll think about it. I know Amy's watching, so maybe I'll talk to her after and see what she thinks. But I'm not too I'm actually not worried too much about losing the spot. Like I think I could claw my way back in there again if I had to. Knowing a few people in small press and things like that.
Sure.
So that's kind of where my head's at, If it takes me a couple of years to get back, that might be a good thing because then, people will be excited to see us again in a couple of years and maybe the sales will spike again, So
that's true. That's true. But
I don't know.
People love Amy's ponies, though.
That's true. And it's a place where she sells them too,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll think about it.
So you extended the campaign, though, huh?
Yeah, I extended it and we hit the goal like the last week, which was awesome, you know.
Yeah, man. Congrats on that.
Thanks, buddy. I just it was looking a little dicey there for a little while, and I was like, you know, but we finally hit, you know. So and then now it's gone 1,000 above, which is amazing, you know. So and I added these two. Did you see these? I added a lunchbox tier.
Dude, that lunchbox is awesome.
Isn't
I have
that great?
to get that. I'm gonna have to pony up a little extra cash for that. You can get that as an add-on, right?
What's up?
You can get it as an add-on.
Yeah, I might even have some to sell at conventions when all it's said and done. So,
okay.
If you want to get it from me directly too, that's a possibility. And then Amy offered to actually make a Honey Flakes puppet exactly like the one we used in the video. So I'm waiting to see if someone's going to take advantage of that. You know,
you never know.
I may offer a couple other things too. What's up?
You never know.
Yeah, you never know, right? So. And then we unlocked the collectible box top, so that's everyone's getting that, you know.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, you know who I remember RJ, who was on a while ago, the one that writes Remo Williams. He suggested that to me, and I was like, I love that idea, so I went and did it, you know. So
great idea.
Yeah, so anybody out there that's watching, the campaign's still going. It's got another. Let's see, it's got another 26 days, so I extended it another 30. Another reason I love Indiegogo, you know, I had the
flexibility there is great. I wish I could have gone longer on my Kickstarter.
I mean, if you start with like a 6, right, that would be great. Like if you did 30 days and you're like, maybe I'll do another 30 days. You can't do it if you don't select 60 up front on Kickstarter, you know?
Right. Or even reopen a campaign. I mean, they should allow you to be able to reopen campaigns, you know?
I agree. Like I wish they could get a little more like what Indiegogo's doing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone that hasn't backed it yet, check this out. It's going for another 26 days. I'm hoping to get up to 7 so we can unlock the eye patch for everybody, and then also get up to 10. I think the next 10,000 we're doing like a tattoo, like the ones you used to get in the
temporary
Cracker
tattoo.
Jack. Yeah, like you used to get in the Cracker Jack box.
Nice.
I think let me see. That's at the bottom here somewhere. Yeah, 10,000. So that's what I'm hoping. Ultimately, we can hit 10, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. You know. But yeah, no, definitely. I'm excited that the goal's out of the way, so my headache is over at least. You know, now it's just like. Just caress it a little bit, you know, to try to get to that final number, you know.
Yeah, you'll get there, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I'm confident.
And before we bring in tonight's guests, which I'm excited to talk to,
I'm so excited for tonight's guests.
Yeah, those both returning guests, both guests that I love.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to chat. We got Roland with us tonight. What's up? Look at this. He said just in time. Woo! My wife is in the American, and she said American Splendor. The film was great.
So good.
And then Roland said counterculture was at its peak during the late 1970s. Yeah, definitely. Ara's here. Sorry I'm late. Ara, you're never late.
Never
you're
late.
On time.
Oh, we're on Ara's time.
Yeah.
We can actually get the party started now.
Yeah, right. Said Johnny C. Hey, man.
Oh, Ara, I love you, kid.
And what did he say? So sorry I missed the last couple of streams. Oh, Ara, definitely recommend going back and watching the last one, because we had, as we were talking in the front, we had Gary Dumb on the show who worked on with Harvey Picar on American Splendor and Robert Crumb and all those stuff.
Very cool to talk to them.
Very cool. Yeah, it was just a total surprise that he was on the show that night too. Harry's here. Keith, gas prices might still be pretty high for New York. Oh, I forgot about that. That's another thing.
City. That's a city you walk around.
Yeah, right. But that's another thing I didn't think about, Johnny. With the way the economy's going, people might not be spending as much, even if they go to the convention, you know?
That's true. That's true. But, you know, there's more than just making cash at a convention, I said.
Yeah, true. It's like that one is the ultimate, like, networking, you know?
That, San Diego, C2E2, all great networking shows for me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Ara, I'm always happy to see you, Indie Comics Relay and Johnny C. Yeah, definitely. Roland says lunchboxes? Question mark, exclamation point.
Lunchboxes.
Yeah, dude. I added those as a part of the second 30 days to see if we could, you know, just all that fun like Saturday morning stuff, you know. What did he say? I hope there are still lunchboxes available. I want one. Yeah, definitely. I'm ordering 25, and I think we've sold at least 3 or 4 maybe. So there's still time. So definitely snag them when you can. And Harry said I might need a lunchbox. Dad, definitely get one. Definitely, I'd love it. Beth, what's up? Let's get that eye patch. Yeah, definitely.
We need that eye patch.
And Adam Warlock's with us. Hey, folks, I almost forgot that it was Wednesday night. Yeah, definitely.
It's Wednesday night. You know what that means?
Yeah, definitely. One thing I wanted to talk to you, Johnny, before we bring the guest on. I know we've talked about it, but like changing the night of the show. I don't know. Should we stay with Wednesday nights, or what does everybody think out there that's watching right now? We talked about changing nights just because it seems like everybody and his brother streams on Wednesday nights. Although
a little crowded,
but we do still find our little niche that watches us. So
I guess my biggest concern is beyond finding new viewers.
Yeah.
Would the viewers that are with us now, would you guys follow us to a different night? So I guess think on that and, chime in, let us know. If we went to maybe
comment Tuesday, on the video, comment on the stream. I'd love to hear, what you guys think for nights. Like, I think if we did move the night, I was thinking maybe Tuesday would be okay, or even Monday might not even be that bad, Monday
or Tuesday, I think would be, yeah. Get the beginning of the week,
Yeah, I would hate to move to Thursday and Friday. I think those nights are kind of out, towards the end of the week, people just don't want to, be on their computers really, and especially if there's like a sneak peek movie or something,
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing. I don't want to have a show and have to worry about it, that kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll play with it. I think if we do make the move, I think we would do it after the holidays probably this year.
Oh, yeah.
Start maybe the new year with the new time slot.
New day or something, yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, people may want us to stay here, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll get the feedback. If people are married to Wednesdays, well, we want to honor that. But also, if they would move with us, then we would be happy to,
Yeah, exactly. But also, it's not like you can't go to the channel the next day and get the stream. It's just,
right.
You can't like interact with us live, that's like the fun part.
That's kind of the fun part. We love having the viewers on, so that's really the fun part of it. So being like you said, you can always go back to the catalog, but streaming live, interacting with the viewers, interacting live with the people who are our guests. That's kind of like the heart of the show.
Yeah, definitely. So there's already some feedback here. The Addams family does art auctions on Friday and Wednesday, so Tuesday or Monday would work.
Thank you for considering, Roland.
Harry said you have to look out for Monday and Thursday night football.
Sounds like Tuesday night it is.
Yeah, maybe Tuesday. That could be the night. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to weigh the options, and just see what moving would look like, So.
Yep.
But all right. Without further ado, we got all the fun stuff out of the way. We got our little tit for tat in the front of the show, So let's start bringing in our guests tonight. So first of all, we got Jack Holder with us. What's up, Jack? Thank you for joining us. And then also we got Nandor with us. Hey, Nandor. Thanks.
Hey.
Good to see you again.
You too.
Awesome. Great to see you fellas. It's been a while. Both of you. I think it's been I know Nandor, it's been almost a year. And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jack, it's been maybe 6 months, maybe since the last one or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's been 7-8 months.
Nice. Yeah, it's been a little while.
I think the last time Jack came on was when he launched his Patreon. If I remember correctly.
Or was it the Last Legends?
It was the Last Legends.
Was it the Last Legends?
Yep.
Yeah. I can't remember. It's like I know you've been on a few times, but anyway. So how you guys doing tonight?
Go ahead, Nandor.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm doing excellent. I'm really excited to be back on the relay, and I love talking with you guys and hanging out. And it's great to meet you, Jack. I don't think we've ever met before, so great to see you, man.
Yeah, that's what indie comics is all about, right? making those connections, meeting people, like
definitely,
sharing I'm excited. Comics.
I'm excited to hear about your book. I want to know more.
Oh yeah, definitely. We definitely want to deep dive into both of your Kickstarters, but I've read both the #1 issues of both of you guys' books, the Legends of the Realm and Manchild. I enjoyed both of them. Now I know like Legends is more like a fantasy kind of thing, with like a wizard as like I guess could say the hero. And then Manchild, that was a very interesting book. I love the one thing I wanted to ask you, Nandor, with that title.
Yeah.
Did you ever have anybody like say to you like, "What is this book about?" Like a guy that lives in his basement. Like, did you get any flack about that title?
Oh yeah, totally. You know, everyone's like, "Is this like hitting all the stereotypes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." You know, and it's embracing them. You know, it's trying to make more of it than like surface level. So
it's funny. Like, it reminds me of when it's like Trekkies, like to the exterior, that is like a condescending term.
Yeah.
But to the interior, it's kind of celebrated. And I think with your book specifically, it doesn't come off as condescending. It definitely celebrates comics. And specifically that, kind of Silver Age tone and style and a lot of what we loved so much growing up.
It's meant to like really kind of explore that stigma and explore the condescending attitude in a way, and kind of like, I guess, combat it in a way, but also understand like where that comes from, or the pitfalls of what like being too immersed in a fandom might do to someone, things like that. So that's something I really wanted to kind of explore.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's interesting subject matter, and I like. Johnny, you've read the book, right?
Yeah, issue 1.
Yeah, I loved it. The thing I really liked about it is the way you kind of got two stories going on in there.
Yeah.
The one about the man-child, and but then you also have the superhero story with is it the Monarch? I think is the name of the character?
Monarch Crier.
Monarch Crier, yeah. And it reminds me like like the Silver Age stuff. I think definitely you're hitting that Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But the man-child stuff too, that reminded me of like, some of the independent comics that I loved back in like the late 90s. Some of the stuff that
cool.
Have you ever read a book called The Waiting Place? I think it was by Sean McKeever, I think, before he went did work for Marvel.
It sounds familiar, but yeah, I haven't picked it up for myself.
Or even something like Stray Bullets, like it has like that very. It reminded me of that, and I think the way the art was too, like it has like that cool like indie drama, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But the way you merged them together was great. Like I can't wait to see the second one to see where you go with that stuff.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll pull it up later, but you have a wonderful array of covers this time around as well.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
I definitely want to look about that. And then and on the other side, Jack, like for the fantasy stuff, I really enjoyed your character as well. Like like it feels fresh. Like it doesn't feel like your typical fantasy stuff, which is good. So that's Johnny, have you read the first one of Legends of the Realm?
A while back, so it's not fresh on my mind. But I know that this is the third book for Legends of the Realm.
Yeah, so we did that first graphic novella one shot that launched everything, and then we did the Floated
That was
Dream.
part of the. I'm sorry, that was part of the comic school anthology, right?
No. So
or am I confusing the two?
So there was Torn Soul, that like 50-page one.
Yeah.
Evan and I did 2 stories for each of the comic book school anthologies. And then this is the second issue of the actual series. We had Floated Dream over in January, and right now we got Set in Stone.
Nice.
Awesome.
So is Torn Soul is the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And like, so now the ones that you did for comic book school, are you going to collect those as part of like an issue down the road in case people didn't read those? Or
we've got them in multiple places, like special editions of we got one, that first one in the special editions of Torn Soul.
Okay.
And you can actually get that second story for free if you sign up for my newsletter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys both have a newsletter, so we'll have to like highlight that as well too. But yeah, no, I thought it was a cool fantasy book. Like I don't read much of the fantasy stuff. I played D&D a little bit when I was younger, but I never was like a junkie for it, you know.
I struggle with fantasy too. It's like it's certain niche things, you know what I mean? But specifically for Jack's book, I think it's more like reader accessible, where, you know, even if you're not super into fantasy, like you can pick up Jack's book and easily read it.
Yeah, definitely. It's there's no like learning curve to start it, you know, like you don't have to like learn this world, you know, like it's a good gateway to like if you're trying to get into fantasy stuff, you know.
Yep, so, for sure. So now this is so Nandor, this is your second campaign for Manchild and your third campaign, right, Jack, for Legends of the Realm?
Yep.
So now, is there anything you can share with us in terms of things you may have done differently this time around than your previous campaigns? Things you may have learned, things you've changed, things you're like, you know, I want to do it differently this time. Anything? Either one of you guys?
For me, something that I wanted to do was, I remember for the first campaign for Manchild, I had some stretch goals in mind, but I didn't really push them. And so this time around, I actually got some artwork done for the sticker that I want to unlock in a stretch goal, and kind of laid out that a little bit more clearly of like what the backers are going to get if we hit these stretch goals. Because I want people to be excited about like not only hitting the goal, but, you know, keeping to get like new stuff for everyone, because all of the stretch goals that I have in mind are like, if we hit this, all the backers get this, you know, if we hit this number, all of the physical reward, you know, tier backers are going to get this. So that's something that I've always like kind of struggled with all of my campaigns, and trying to find like good stretch goals that are incentives for people to keep coming back to it, and even if we hit the goal, like they still want to support it because they want to, you know, get those goals. So there's that. And then like I made my video a little shorter, just some little like tidbits here and there where I was like, you know, some edits that I wanted to do from my previous campaign, and kind of keep things a little bit more compact. Sometimes I feel like my campaign pages get a little long, and so I like to try to keep things as streamlined as possible. So I think I found a sweet spot with this one.
Yeah, I think that's smart actually, because you got to take into consideration the ADHD that everybody has.
Yeah,
in this day and age, you know.
Right. Right.
I did the same. Like I think like if a campaign video goes over a minute, you've already lost whoever's gonna watch it. They'll watch it maybe 10 seconds if you're lucky. So, and then like you said, the shortness of the campaign, like that's
the actual
too.
Page being short.
Definitely.
And it's hard to do that because you know, you have to think about like, you know, your size dimensions and how much art you want to show, because you know, if you know, like you love showing preview pages. I love showing like previews because that's what the book is, and so you want people to see that and be like, okay, cool, this looks like a quality product. But you know, if you share so many, it's like they're just going to keep having to scroll down to like get to the rewards and get to the other parts of the campaign, and then with all of the rewards that, you know, you can have in your campaigns, you know, depending on the image size dimensions for those, you know, it's like you're just, you know, it's like an endless scroll. And so it gets a little tricky with like the way that you structure the campaign page, and getting people to want to keep looking and keep scrolling down for like some of the cool stuff that may not be mentioned in the video, or is like exclusive stuff that you only get in like the first week or maybe the last week of the campaign. So that's something that I remember for one of my campaigns for Seasons. I remember putting it on Indiegogo, and this guy gave me some really good advice into how to like just lay it out, because he's like, you want your art like that's what you want people to see, like the first thing, you know, it's like art, you know, you don't want too much text, you don't want people having to spend too much time reading about the book, you just want to show them what it is. And that's going to make or break it, you know, from the get-go.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the other thing that really helps is if you have, you know, like you said, you don't want to show too many pages. Like I think like 3 might be a good sweet spot, but also you want to show the covers. And the other thing, like I've been finding too, is you want to show kind of like complete artwork, even if you don't, like, you know, like even if you don't have the whole issue done, if you can get like those 3 pages that you're gonna show, like letter, you know,
right,
it just gives that like that gives the backer more confidence that, you know, you're working on this and it's like, you know, it's in a little bit of a finished form, you know? Like,
right. You know, like, so this is the quality you're going to get, you know, and that you can expect from, you know, it's like a representation of the entire thing.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
And how about you, Jack, in terms of this next campaign? Anything you changed? Anything that, you know, you want to do differently from last time?
Are you experimenting with anything new or?
For the most part, I'm trying out a couple more variants. I got like a couple artists involved, like Amanda Dufresne and Chris Campagna actually signed on to do some variant covers. And
nice.
with this one, also, I wanted to take a little bit of a step back. I was overtaxing myself with, if you recall, I was trying to write a piece of flash fiction for the lore every single day, which was less, even if it was less than 1,000 words. That was a lot easier when my daughter was around 6 months old. Now that she's 13 months old and is starting to crawl and move around, that ship has sailed.
I would say she's a handful now, man, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes, she is. A lovely handful, but a handful.
Yeah. So can you reflect upon doing that time frame of trying to do that much writing in that period of time?
I both really enjoyed it because I had set up the prompts in advance, and it is something I would do again if you had time. But it's one of those things where as a businessman, you have to look and go, there are certain awesome things that are more just fluff than everything else.
Well, it's more like an exercise too, right? To like keep your writing ability sharp, you know, like I should do more of that, but I don't. Like Nandor, do you do stuff like that when you write? Do you do like a daily writing exercise or anything like that?
I don't do like a daily exercise, but I always try to I'm always trying to work on something that has to do with writing, like you know, whether that's like laying out a YouTube video, you know, scripting a video, scripting different ideas for possible stories that, you know, that come to me, and also like editing, you know, like trying to like edit like scripts that I've already finished and kind of go back on those, because, you know, it's probably gonna take a while before some of the stuff gets seen, so it's like I might as well take the time I have and edit, you know, here and there if there's something that I think could be a little tighter. So I try to write as much as I can, but I definitely have this thing where if it's not gonna like go anywhere or like get published, or if I'm not gonna do anything with it, you know, I don't want to say like it's not like it'd be wasting your time, but I want it to turn into something, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I feel.
Well,
go ahead,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to interject and say that I feel it's very easy to spin your wheels. when you're kind of in that pre-productive creative process. Something I can kind of liken it to is went to radio broadcasting school, and there's so many times I re-recorded my demo to the point where I was like, what am I doing here? I just gotta have to be satisfied with what I put together. But it's the same thing with kind of developing a project. It's like you could rewrite a project till it's, almost meaningless.
Yeah.
Until you put together something that, is solid. So you really do have to kind of give yourself that limit, or even not delve, like you say, not delve too deep into the well of that exercise, so to speak.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, too, I feel the same way, Nandor, a lot. Like, if I write something, I kind of need it to have like an end game involved with it.
Right.
Like, I just don't do anything like willy-nilly just for myself. Like, it's just like if I'm writing like a newsletter, right? You know that's at least gonna go out to people,
right?
Or
right.
like with the YouTube video, you're gonna make that video and it's gonna go out. Things like that. I feel the same way. Yeah. It's hard for me to like just sit and do like an essay or something, or just write in a journal, which they say you should do. But I'd rather channel it into doing like an outline or something, rather than,
right.
something, so
yeah. I used to write in a journal all the time. That's something I did used to do, but it just kind of got away from me, and I just noticed that usually when I'm pretty good at figuring out if something is going somewhere, and kind of separating the wheat from the chaff when it comes to like a story that I want to pursue. Yeah. So usually I will have a few ideas of certain stories, but there's always one that sticks out to me, and I'm like, that's the one I need to pursue. So that's the one I need to put all of my time and energy into, because I'm excited about that one the most. So that kind of helps it.
You get like that little spark where it's like, this is going to be something. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So how about you, Jack, in terms of the bearded half of the chat here?
Right.
What would you say would be your, in terms of your writing process, in terms of, because you were talking about before where you're doing it every day, what would you say in terms of now, like having done all that writing or putting all that time in, what would you say your process is now, and what's changed from that then?
Oh, the process right now is just get some done. I am in that fugue state of figuring out life. I'm just so happy that I banked so many stories. Like the entire arc was pretty much written before my daughter was born. So now it's having conversations with everyone. My writing style right now is get something out on the page and keep figuring out from there. And that's actually really good advice for people who have full-time jobs, maybe more than full-time jobs, and committed family time. This is some of the biggest and best advice I've ever received and ever given. Commit to writing one word. You will boot up your computer. You will go on Microsoft or Google Drive or whatever your one of choice is, and you're going to write one word. It's not going to be one word, but it's going to be a great way for you to just make writing a habit. As for developing the ideas, a lot of times it comes from, wouldn't this be cool? It's that idea that you have, and then you start asking questions like, well, how did this work? What's going on here? And just fleshing out from there. With Legends of the Realm, it's really great because sometimes I'll just be like texting Evan, and he'll be up at 4 a.m. in Greece, and he'll be responding, "Hey, this looks fun," and we'll just keep picking at it. And removing the dirt until you find the diamond.
Yeah, like
awesome. I love that you pretty much just made the comparison that when you go to write, you say, "Oh, I gotta have to write at least one word." But we all know when we open a notepad, it's never just one word.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's akin to snacking. It's like you're gonna open that can of Pringles. It's not gonna be one Pringle.
Yeah.
It's
like that. That's
just the
cool.
process of doing it is half of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, indeed.
I think I want to try to get into more of the habit of so I always get the habit where I write 3 issues and then I do everything on it, like, the lettering, everything and that. But I kind of want to get in the habit where I just keep writing more issues while I'm doing all that other stuff. So that's like one thing that I'm trying to, so I can have the next 3 ready to go.
Yeah.
The next, when the 3 come out.
Get ahead of yourself a little bit.
I feel like I'm just constantly like, all right, I got to get these 3 done. I get them done, and then I don't write again for like another 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of want to not do that anymore. I kind of want to just start working on other things at the same time.
I struggle when I do 2 at once. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you want to share your opinions or whatever, but I find myself
doing 2 different projects.
Writing 2 different projects at the same time is tougher for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like
do that.
I feel like when I do that, I'm compromising my characters' voices. Only because I feel like I'm not giving enough attention because I'm kind of spreading myself a little too thin. You know what I mean?
Well, you get to the headspace of that character, and what's that, Jack?
I completely understand, but at the exact same time, you're constantly, like, each and every one of us, we have our series. You've got our Surrounded by Death and our Mighty Mascots and our Man-Child and Legends, but all of us are like, okay, well, I want to do this thing as well. I am sure Johnny has, like, 6 different pro wrestling sci-fi horror stories bumming around his head.
I wish, but
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I've ever heard Johnny say he had a wrestling. Do you have a wrestling comic, Johnny?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if I could. As much as I enjoy watching it and enjoying it now, I don't know if I could creatively write it. I feel like I don't know. But I mean, yeah. Projects usually have to come to me as like a burst of inspiration. Really, do I struggle when somebody gives me a prompt? They're like, "You have to do this." It's like, oh crap! Like, I have to do research and try to figure it out. But my best stories come to me when it's like just a strike of inspiration. Like
that's usually the best. Yeah,
blooms into something more. You know what I mean?
And those ones are the ones that come out of left field when you're not ready for them, and you got to scramble to write them down. Those are the best ones.
They're the best ones. I get the most excited about that, I think, is when there's a story that kind of just hits me like that. And so I know Jared just commented on, I think, Facebook or whatever, but that was because I'm writing this book called Went Dark right now, and so that's actually been an exercise in being able to write to a prompt. Because it's his story, but I'm just putting the words down and formatting it for him. You know what I mean? So that's become more of like okay, I got to work in other people's sandboxes. I got to learn how to work on a story that's not just a strike of inspiration. I got to be able to learn how to work when it's not like when I'm not in the zone, so to speak.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know I've asked you about that before, Johnny. So is it like, does Jared know most of the story and then you kind of come in and work with that outline? Is that how it works?
It's the Marvel way. So he'll give me the outline of the issue and I will play in that sandbox and put it together. And, we'll make changes. Like I'll tell him like, we got to change this or this flows better this way. And, sometimes I have to plead a case and, act like my own lawyer to my own story beats. And sometimes it's like, no, you're right. That's cooler,
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple great comments here too. Ara said, "I love your stuff, Jack."
Amen.
And then he said, "And man-child." So you might have a new fan there,
Yeah.
Roland had said, "Kiss, keep it simple, stupid." I think that was a reference to when we were talking about our crowdfunders and just keeping it simple. Thing. Got a new DS Cartoons joining us. Greetings, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I see the comment right now. Jared said he could write it. Oh, and here's a nice one from Harry. He says, I have an idea for a new wrestling logo or graphic. Maybe I can unveil it on here when it's done. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, please do, man.
Harry, I'd shoot you the link if you want to come in and show it, definitely.
Yeah.
Come in and, be our Ed McMahon or something,
Hey, I'm the Ed McMahon, but he can come on. He could be like, what was it? Jack Hanna would bring all the animals on.
Yeah. He could be the what is it? The stupid pet tricks or whatever. That's awesome. But yeah, I definitely want to take a look at both of your campaigns here.
Let's pull up the campaigns, guys.
Yeah, definitely. So let's we'll start with Jack here. So let me share this so that I can actually make sure I. Let's see.
So while Keith's bringing that up, Jack, just for somebody who hasn't read the story or is not familiar, give the elevator pitch on Legends of the Realm.
Legends of the Realm, the elevator pitch is what makes a man a hero or a villain. Is it based on his actions? Is it based on his motivations? Or is it based on who's telling his story? Camridian is either the greatest hero the kingdom has ever seen or its most despicable villain. Okay. And here in these first few issues, you are going to see him as he travels the kingdom of Danisfire for the first time. He is looking for new magics and new miracles, trying to find something to impress his king. But along the way, people are telling the story of his adventures, and you will see that not everyone has his best interests at heart.
Gotcha.
Sounds a lot like indie comics.
What is this Kick Track? He says that you're a hot list comic project. What is that?
Kick Track is one of those websites that really keeps an eye on everything, tries and tracks.
Oh, nice. So it's like it's actually like looked at your last campaign and like that kind of thing.
Yep. I used it on mine too. I think it's wonderful. It's a real handy resource, and you can avoid going to the Kickstarter dashboard, and you can go to Kick Tracks, and it'll actually give you so when you first launch the campaign, it gives you some exorbitant number that you're on track for, and then that just decreases over time depending upon how much it's backed. You know what I mean?
I think it seems like as soon as you launch a campaign, all these things come out of the woodwork, telling you how good your campaign's going to do. Is it one of those kind of things?
A little bit. It's great for analytics, but I'll let Jack explain.
It's exactly what Johnny said. It's good for analytics.
And see who's going to your campaign and things like that.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I've never seen it before. I forget which. As soon as I launched mine, I was getting emails from something. I don't remember what it was. But they started sending me emails every day saying, "Oh, your campaigns might make it," that kind of thing.
I get a few, and I'm sure Nandor's had a couple as well. The messages both straight to your Kickstarter or to the email that your Kickstarter account is associated with. Hey, we're really good at Kickstarter, and we will pledge $50 to your campaign right now if you agree to back us. Like their profile, and it's and we have backed 0 projects.
Right. So, this is cool. Week 2 backer reward. So, are you doing a weekly thing where you're trying to pump up each week? Is that how?
Absolutely.
Nice.
So everyone watching, you back right now. You're gonna get not just Legends of the Realm. You're gonna get 4 comics included absolutely free: 6 Swords, Triumviratus, Sneaky Goblins, and Vatican Assassins. Great way to build up your digital library.
They're all digital PDFs.
Yep.
And you get those free just for backing?
Exactly.
Wow, that's
cool.
Yeah, let me just, I want to page through here and just take a look at some of the artwork.
And while he's doing that, if there's a tier that you could recommend, Jack, somebody to who's looking at the campaign now, what would you recommend?
I would definitely recommend the Legend Scrolls, because that is the one where you will get digital and physical copies of all three books: Floated Dream, Set in Stone, and the graphic novella Torn Soul. It's a great way to just jump straight in and enjoy what's coming.
So is this the cover for number 2?
Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
Work from many people that you guys know and love. Evan did pencils. Rusty Gilligan did inks. And,
awesome.
And Jay Morris did colors.
Nice.
And that
great.
That one you just saw is the variant from Amanda Dufresne.
Gotcha.
This one right here, the purple and the black and white here?
Yeah.
Awesome. She does such awesome work.
Yeah, she's great. I like her a lot. I like seeing her. It's good to see her at shows this year. I hadn't seen her in a long time.
She was absent for a little bit. Yeah, it's great. And her
some of
her
the
fiance
right.
Xavier is spinning out and doing art as well.
Who is?
Her. I don't know if it's her fiance or her husband or boyfriend, but Xavier Christensen.
Gotcha.
He's got some phenomenal artwork as well.
Nice. Oh, nice. So you got some finished pages too. Yeah, this looks great. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. I love this action shot too that you used in the picture up above too.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Yeah, it's a cool character, cool wizard character. Let me see what else you got here. Torn Soul.
That is the money shot right there. That looks so good.
Isn't that good? Yeah. This was the original cover, right, of Legends of Torn Soul.
Floated Dream, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Floating Dreams, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was cool. I think that's the one I got. That's the first one. This is some pages from that. Yeah, good fantasy stuff. So, and I mean, Evan's a great artist too. I mean, look at some of these pages.
So good.
Yeah, it's really good. And did he do the colors too? I don't remember.
Yeah, Evan is the whole package.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Evan does some good work. He came on with you one of the times, right, when you were on the show?
Yeah.
Because he's overseas, right?
He is in Greece.
Greece, that's what it was. Yeah, I remember it was really early in the morning for the guy, but he made the time for us. We greatly appreciate that.
And you can get all your other books that you can get on the campaign?
Yeah. Like with most Kickstarters that I've been running, it's hey, are you missing some books from me?
Yeah, you put them on his add-ons.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, like, it's what better way to sell, use Kickstarter as like an online store. It's like perfect, Yeah, this looks good. So you recommend the Legend Scrolls tier to get everything?
Exactly.
Okay. And then you can get. I'm just looking at the rest of them. Do you have the image by Campana yet? Chris Campana?
Not just yet.
Not
he
yet.
He is still in the midst of working on it.
Gotcha.
Chris does great work.
He does.
It's gonna look awesome.
I like his stuff a lot. He's really
good.
He's
He's really good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, this looks good, Jack. How's the campaign video? Is it long? Is it?
It clocks in at under 3 minutes, but it is long enough that we don't need to show it.
Gotcha. Okay.
You got it.
But yeah, no, looks good. Check this out. Let me put the link in the chat here so people can take a look at it.
And
this
you've got
link will also be in the video too. Description. What's that, Johnny?
You've got about 21 days left to go.
Yeah, you're at 94 backers and I'd say about 1/3 of the way there, maybe.
Just about.
Yep.
Yeah, 1/3. Yeah. So and it's been going 9 days so far. 9 days.
Yeah, we're on day 9 right now. It's and 100 backers. We're gonna add another free comic for everyone. 2,500. We're gonna add another milestone comic. Every time you hit those big milestones, you're going to celebrate.
So
with
people get like
content.
a ton of these PDFs if they back. That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's one of those great ways to just showcase so many amazing people. And you get a chance to see these creators' work and fall in love with their works as well.
Yeah, no, I love that. And what was I going to say? So you don't normally do 60 days, right? You just do 30?
I normally just do 30. I've found with these bigger campaigns, it doesn't extend for me the amount of backers. It just extends that dead zone where you're just watching and wondering.
Oh, gotcha.
Sure. I feel like campaign after campaign, if you can't reduce that time and raise your number, like there's got to be like a certain balance for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I think that ideally would be a goal, is to shorten that time with each campaign, right?
Definitely, and it's like I feel like now like the outside world is like affecting like how like whereas the economy's so bad right now that I don't know if people are even thinking comic books, but we'll see. I mean, like this whole year at conventions has been kind of interesting, where it started off really strong, but now it's been like dipping, like sales have been going down, and things like that. So I don't know. It's an interesting time.
But it's funny because, the crowdfunding, like it's kind of maintaining though, it's a little bit slower, but not that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Are you planning on launching again, Johnny, soon, or what do you?
I still got to finish fulfilling the last campaign. I'm waiting on artwork, so that's the problem. There is that I got
thinking
artwork
ahead to another one, or
I am thinking ahead. So I'm already kind of pre-planning the next volume of Surrounded by Death, which is issues 3 and 4. Nice. So I probably won't launch that until we're well into production on issue 4. So then that way people aren't going to be waiting a long time like they are now. Like I said, I've said it in previous episodes, my biggest mistake was promising new art, new content, where I just completely had an unrealistic idea of fulfillment time. So
gotcha. Yeah.
But so that's why I kind of asked you guys at the top of the show, what things did you learn from your previous campaign? What did you change going into it? And for me, right now, one of the biggest lessons for me was don't promise new content unless you have the cash or the time to pony up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's all. I mean, I think it's all learning, right? You keep learning, between campaigns. What changes? Right. What's new? What's different?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's definitely got to roll with everything.
For sure.
Yeah, and there's certain trends in crowdfunding. You'll see trends for like, this reward, is like what everyone wants, whether it's like a print or a sticker or a trading card or those types of things, and you always have to kind of watch to see what people are looking for.
Yeah, and you also have to play with that the whole like shipping thing too. Like you kind of want to offer things that are flat, that will fit in a Gemini mail.
Right. Yeah.
Media mail is your best friend.
Yeah. But that's the way
it's like enamel pins. Enamel pins were so hot like 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had an enamel pin, you were like printing gold.
Yeah. And Roland said this is true. Under promise and over deliver. That's the key, But yeah, I want to take a look at Manchild here, number 2 as well. Let me see. All right, here we go. All right. Yeah. So I looked at this one earlier today as well.
Awesome.
This is great. And I already backed it too, by the way. I don't know if
I saw that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I can't wait. I love this new cover too.
Yeah.
This is great,
so
man.
Is that a cover, Nandor, or is that a print? I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, yeah. So that is a print, but I've had
it's a print, okay.
It's a free, so everyone who backs in the first week is going to get this print for free.
Awesome.
And so it's only today and tomorrow, and then it's not going to be free anymore for physical reward backers.
Gotcha. So I got it in time.
Yeah, you did. So you'll get that. However, there's been quite a few people that want it as a cover. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm debating on whether making it a cover or not. I have to like crunch some numbers, but it's been really popular. A lot of people have really
could be a stretch goal, you know, like
right,
or something,
right.
You know,
it's very pulpy. I love it.
I know.
Pulpy noir, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I really wanted something to kind of fit the retro aesthetic, and
it's got like a treasury edition kind of feel.
Yeah, right. Like an oversized magazine or something.
Yeah, like that stuff Brubaker was doing with his criminal comic.
Right, totally.
That's great stuff. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, this is great too. Talk about like just classic Silver Age stuff, like the tiny hero going against this massive thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the underdog, you know.
Yeah, I love it. And very like the Eternals or something, you know.
Like he's going up against like a Celestial or like a
that's great.
A Sentinel, like from the X-Men, you know.
Yes,
it's great stuff. And now this is the cover that Jim Rugg did, right?
It is, yeah. He did that one. He did that cover.
So good. How did you get that to happen? Did you just like approach him and say, "Hey, I want to pay you to do a cover"?
I was of course I was watching the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel, and I was like, I wonder like could I get in touch with Jim Rugg, because I really like all of his stuff from he did Street Angel, and he just did Hulk Grand Design for Marvel, which I highly recommend picking.
Is that
up.
good? I was considering grabbing it.
Yeah, it's so good. What it is like, it's basically he condenses like the first 500 issues of the Incredible Hulk into like 2 oversized comics. So like,
really?
Cool.
Yeah, like you see the entire history of the Hulk, and every page is sort of like a collage, you know, of like different parts of his history, and it's so well done. And he does it all. He does the writing, the art, and the lettering. And he's just like this really talented designer and artist. And I reached out to him, and he wanted to, of course, read the first issue, and I was like, oh yeah, totally. And so I sent him the first issue of Man-Child. And he read it, and he was like, I'm totally on board. Like, you know, I want to do this. And I was like, awesome. Sweet. Yeah, nice. I was so happy.
Oh, that's great.
Now, I think we overlooked, I mean, just for people who aren't familiar, can you give your elevator pitch for Man-Child?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Good call,
Johnny.
Man-Child is everything you love about Silver Age classic comics and modern day comic book fandom. It's for both. It's for that fan that grew up with old comics, and it's for the fan that is reading comics right now and likes to dissect what is happening kind of in the culture and the medium itself. It tells 2 stories simultaneously, so you're getting 2 for 1 basically in this limited series that it's going to be. And you follow Rufus, who in the first issue, who's the super comic book nerd. In the first issue, his comic book creator hero dies, and it's an analog for Stan Lee. But in the issue, his name is Stu Leeds, and the comic came about through my grieving process of after Stan Lee passing away. I wanted to do something in his honor, and I wanted to really celebrate fandom and celebrate what Stan Lee and Kirby and Ditko and that era, that Marvel age of comics, really how it pioneered and created pop culture as we know it when it comes to superheroes. And so you get, with Rufus's story, you get these little kind of snapshots of the beauty of what it means to be a comic book fan. And at the same time, you're reading about this Silver Age superhero character named the Monarch Crier, as he battles Professor Pilgrim, and Professor Pilgrim is his arch nemesis, who is putting him through all these trials that he's going to be going through throughout the series. And it's this this mystery between how the 2 stories relate and what makes a a man, or like masculinity, and kind of exploring those themes, and how Rufus is an inner child. Like he has his inner child, and he's this older guy, but he's immersed himself in the things that he identifies with. This is his identity, what comics and what superheroes are. And so it's this bridge between reality and fantasy altogether.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it too. The whole first issue, I'm like, how are these two stories gonna tie in? Like, is Rufus actually the monarch? That kind of thing.
right.
Like this weird twist or whatever. But no, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like the monarch story sort of mirroring what's going on with Rufus a little bit.
Yeah, right.
So I really like what you're doing there. Like, I feel like you're nailing both stories really well there.
Thank you.
Roland in the chat mentioned Black Freighter in Watchmen.
Yeah, that's a great. That
is a great comparison, because that's exactly what Nandor's doing with this issue, and I think a little bit like that, wouldn't you say, Nandor?
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. It's definitely, it's not revealed yet whether or not the Monarch Crier is like a superhero in Rufus's storyline, or like a comic that Rufus is reading or anything. But there is that kind of meta textual like thing going on where you're sort of like within a world, like Inception level kind of stuff going on.
Right. Yep. And I love these different covers. I actually think I chose this one by your series artist.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I like I something about the movie theater, and then like them fighting on the screen, I think is great. I really like your artist too on the book. I gotta say,
Thank you.
He nails like that David Lapham kind of style. Like, that's what it feels like to me, like a Stray Bullets, like that.
I get a little bit of a Mike Allen vibe too, though.
A little bit of Allred, yeah. It's definitely both, like a little bit of both there. But it's perfect for indie comics and just comics in general, I think.
Yeah, and I really wanted. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I really wanted like an artist who could do both. Like I didn't want to have like two different artists doing two different stories. I really wanted an artist that could capture that real world, like grounded aesthetic, but also do the superhero stuff, because Jay, his comfort zone is like noir comics and like crime stuff. And so when I approached him for this book, he was like, you really think I can do like all the superhero action and all that stuff? And I was like, oh yeah, like I know you can do it. and he's just like, he's outdone himself. Like he's really, really good. So
I could see this dude doing noir too. Like he's perfect for it.
Yeah, like Sean Phillips, like with Brubaker, that style.
Perfect. Yeah, it's another one I forgot to mention. Like, but look at this stuff. I love it. I love this. I think you'd really nail the Silver Age stuff a lot too. Like, I really enjoyed all of it.
Yeah,
this is great stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you did the smart thing. You have finished pages here, like we talked about earlier. This is great. So you mentioned it was a mini series. How many issues are you eyeing?
Yeah, it's going to be 6 issues.
6 altogether? Okay.
Yeah. I have it all scripted out. I know where everything's going. I was finishing the last issue when I was running the campaign for issue 1. So
oh wow, so you pretty much get everything done.
Yeah. Of course. I'm still tweaking things, but like I'm really, really satisfied and really excited. If I could get all of this out as quickly as possible, like that would be the dream for sure.
Well, you're going along at a good pace. I mean, because it hasn't been that long since number 1.
Right.
And now you got 2 going, and then
are you aiming for once a year, Nandor?
Yeah, I'd like to do twice a year, honestly, but once a year is sort of where I'm at right now. But I'm hoping that after this campaign, like next year, I really want to do a couple campaigns if I can.
It's tough, right, though, because building these things is like a nightmare.
Yeah. It just, it's a whole chunk of your year that you really have to think about devoting to,
Well, it's like coming up with everything. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row. Make your video. Make your perks. I mean, it's like it's like a job. I mean, it's
that's why I commend Jack a little bit, because he's like, I'm running a Patreon, multiple Kickstarters. Oh yeah, I'm a new dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got a lot on your plate, bro.
This sticker is cute as hell. It's like a very reminds me of what's that artist? God, I'm blanking. Not Chris Giarusso, but similar to Giarusso.
Is it Scotty Young?
Scotty Young. Yeah. It's
totally
very similar style to him, you know.
Yeah, this was done by actually one of my artist friends. He does kind of his own stuff, and there's actually a man-child fan art contest going on for the second issue, where if you submit an image and a piece of art, we're gonna pick one to be featured in the second issue. So like your fan art will be in the second issue, printed in there. And so he wanted to do something, and he sent me that, and I was like, dude, I love this so much. Like, I want to make it a sticker. You know, I want to make it like a part of it.
Great die cut sticker you could.
Yeah, wouldn't that be perfect? That'd be so awesome. Cool. Yeah.
Even that, you know what? That could even be a cover if you thought about it. I mean, Scotty Young does like covers exactly like this, you know. Yeah, it's great stuff, man. And you didn't skimp on the lettering. Like, the lettering looks great. Same with you, Jack. Your book looks great too, lettering wise. You can always tell, like, when a book's got sloppy lettering, that
it can make or break it for sure.
Oh my god, big time. And this looks great. And what tiers would you recommend for your campaign as well?
Yeah, so I would I definitely recommend the catch-up tier, where you get issues 1 and 2, which is $20, and then you also get the PDFs for Man-Child issue 1 and 2. If you're new to the story and you want to get everything together, I would do that. But I really recommend the Foxhole Comics bundle, where you get every book that I've published. It's this entire bundle. So you get over 300 pages of comics, and that includes volumes 1 and 2 of Seasons, Lifeline, and Man-Child issue 1 and 2, and that's 2 hardcovers, 1 trade paperback, and 2 single issues.
Oh wow, it is a lot for $95. That's not bad.
Yeah, under $100, and you get over 300 pages of comics, and so you can kind of get caught up with all of my series. And we're going to be working on Seasons Volume 3 here soon. And
oh, nice.
So definitely a lot of things in the works, and of course it helps the campaign substantially, but you also get a lot of goodies if you back at that tier. So
yeah, it's great. And I can vouch, I love #1, so definitely
awesome. Thank you.
Out there, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Did you see Jared mentioned that he loved the heavy blacks on the
Yeah. Thanks, Jared. That's awesome. Yeah, me too. I'm a lover of that.
Cheaping out on the lettering to a book is like cheaping out on Foley in a motion picture. Great comparison. Really, really. I mean, it's just like one of those things that people don't think about or they skimp on because they think it's not as important as everything else, but it really makes or breaks your book. So there's the link, everybody, in the chat. It's also going to be in the description of the video if you're thinking about backing this later. 23 days to go, 83 backers, and you look like you're about halfway there.
Yeah, a little over halfway now.
Yeah,
so
that's great. So that's awesome.
Nice. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Heading into, like, what do they call it, the mid slump?
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping to avoid it if I can, but we'll see. We'll see. It happens.
Oh, definitely. And also I brought this up, if you like Nandor, definitely check out his YouTube channel as well, because he's doing videos over there talking about the book, and I think you do some stuff about other comics too, right? Like just
I
and things like that.
Yeah, I haven't done much recently. I've been more working on kind of my writing and other stuff, but I'm wanting to get back to doing more videos on a regular basis. And one of my favorite things I would do is I would kind of dissect the writing in comics and look at some of my favorite stories and talk about them. So
that's great.
But I also do like hangout streams, where like I'll bring my artists on that I'm working with, and we'll just hang out and talk about great. What we're working on. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. That's what these YouTube channels are all about. They're almost like the modern day comic book hangout place.
Yeah, totally.
You get together and just talk shop, or just talk about any books you picked up, or I mean, I used to work at a comic book store. That's all we did,
Yeah, totally.
2 hours later, oh, hey, I gotta do some work.
I feel like COVID, like of all the negative things, the one positive thing, or one of the positive things, was that it forced streaming to kind of be a collective comic community thing where we can get together and talk shop and all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it seems to be like the new comic store, because like it's weird. Like, the comic stores nowadays don't seem to be as busy and as as crazy as they were before COVID. So I hope that changes and people eventually come back.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, are you seeing that in your neck of the woods? I forget what part of the country you're in, Nandor.
I'm in Missouri.
Missouri, that's what it was.
So I've it's my area is kind of odd. Like, there's always people.
Yeah.
But it seems to be like, I don't know, like everyone's kind of always doing their own thing, so they don't necessarily like all hang out together. So you kind of have to track people down. But something that one of my shops is trying to do is to do like a comic book of the month club, where like people get together and talk about either like, either they all agree to read the same book, or they talk about their favorite comics for that month. And I think that's a really good idea, because this and it kind of goes back to Man-Child, but it's like this is all about like community, and like how we connect over these characters and these stories. And like it's a beautiful thing when you meet a stranger and you start, if they like comics, and you start talking to them, and it's like, it's kind of like what you said. It's like 2 hours go by, and you're like, man, I just met this person, and like,
it really is.
But we've been talking for 2 hours. It's crazy.
Right? So that's actually it's funny that you say that, though. It's like I was at a barbecue over the weekend, not comic folks, but somebody saw my tattoo. I have a Punisher skull on my leg for a tattoo.
Cool.
And we immediately started talking comics, and everybody was like looking around like, what's going on here? They're speaking a different language. You know what I mean? But it's a great unifier,
Yeah, right. Yeah, it really is. Like that, or just movies or something. Like, people get into that. Like, it binds us as a community, like you guys said. Like, it's just something you can kind of like just start talking about.
It's an icebreaker,
It really is. Yeah, that's what it is. The ultimate icebreaker. Like, comics not so much, but movies, a little more. I think, because But I don't know. You get the right person in the room, like Johnny just said, and you can go to town on comics.
Lose time, man. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, we used to have epic conversations at the comic store.
Great.
And everybody would get involved. People just walking in, grabbing a book, and then they would get involved. It was awesome.
So, do you want to shout out your local shop, Nandor?
Yeah, I'll shout out both of them, the Antiquarium and Capital City Comics.
Nice.
Hit them up. Yeah.
And nice. Jack, do you have a local shop for where you're at currently? I think you're muted, Jack.
Yeah, you're muted.
You're muted.
I'm still over at New England Comics at Harvard Square.
New England Comics, nice.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, that is a good one. I still go to That's Entertainment, but I also jump around to, sometimes I'll make the hour trip to Rubber Chicken Comics, because they have like an amazing like indie section there,
Oh, nice.
Indie book you could ever think of is there,
Cool.
and it's the only place I could get like. Have you guys any of you guys bought like any of the Bad Idea books yet?
I haven't. I've heard of them, but yeah, I've never dived into them yet.
It's pretty good, but you got to find the stores that carry them.
Yeah.
The thing that drives me nuts about the company is like the books are really good, but they make it so freaking hard for you to get them. That's the problem.
Didn't they already fold up as a?
No, they're starting up again. I think it was like a ploy to like get attention. Like
wow.
We're going under. And that kind of thing. But they were. Yeah, I was talking. I met Robert Vendetti at Terrificon, and he's
cool.
Yeah, I love that. I love his writing. He's awesome.
Yeah,
it was all a lot of.
What's that?
It was all a work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but he's done some stuff for Bad Idea, and I was like, what is up with them? Like, why? And I guess it's they're trying to be super novelty, like. Their whole game plan is they want you to go to the stores. They want you to, the only place you can get them is through the stores. You can't order them online.
Yeah.
So I like the idea behind it. It's just I hate the hunt. Like I'm not a hunt guy. I just want to go in, grab my shit, and go. Like I don't like digging through back issue bins.
Yeah.
So to me it's annoying, but like I recommend them though. They're a little expensive because they are high. They're printed on the best paper, and all the covers got like the spot embossing and like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And each issue has a backup story too. So you'll get a backup story by David Lapham or Matt Kint or something like that, and it's just none of it's really superhero, but it's all just good stories. Like so cool. If any of those stores carry it, I recommend checking out some of them at least. They're worth it. So, and if you guys ever get down to Rubber Chicken, they carry it. I think New England might carry it too, New England Comics, but.
I'm a Bedrock Comics guy, Framingham, Massachusetts.
Bedrock's great.
Jack and Jim.
Yeah. Love Bedrock too. I haven't been down there in a long time. I was supposed to do a signing at Holla Comics, but it got canceled. They're moving to a new store or something like that. I don't.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be on Route 9 near Bedrock or not, but
those guys had a tough go. They had a break in, lost a lot of good comics.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot
about that.
While back,
but
imagine that breaking in to steal comics.
Wow.
I don't know what to think about that. Yeah. I guess if they have some high end stuff, that maybe, but it's like. I mean, everybody knows everybody around here. It's like, good luck trying to sell that to somebody.
Right.
I don't know, it's stupid. But, all right, yeah, I'm going to start wrapping this up because we've been going about 90 minutes, which is crazy. It doesn't feel like that ever,
Flew right by, man.
Dude, seriously, like, it's... Once the show starts, it just kind of like it's just like I don't know where the time goes.
Time flies when you're hanging out with good friends, good talk.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. That's right.
Also, both of you guys have newsletters too. Like, do you want to shout out like where people can find those and?
So foxholecomics.substack.com. So
is your
So
I have
subscribed
to it. I think I'm one of the subscribers on it. I think I got it from your last.
Campaign,
From your last campaign, or I just went to Substack and hit it.
Awesome, thanks, man. Thanks for signing up. It's really fun. I really like the layout for Substack, and I've been sending out one usually weekly or every 2 weeks. So I try to keep up, and that's the way people will get like exclusive access to all the new stuff I'm working on.
Good deal. How about you, Jack? I don't know if I'm on yours. I'll have to go check.
You can find my newsletter. I put the bit.ly in private chat, bit.ly/Arcane Inc. And from there you can sign up, and you're going to get a bunch of free comics just for signing up as well.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
And don't forget, you got the Patreon, Jack.
Yes, you can. You can find my Patreon, patreon.com/Arcane Inc.
Arcane Inc. Okay, perfect. How's that going? I haven't had one, so is it worth it? Is it like
it gives you a nice additional stream of income, and people sign up at the most random of times, and it's just wonderful to actually see that, and keeps you writing. That's the main thing. Keeps you writing.
Yeah, definitely. Like I just I put off doing a newsletter, just to do an aside here for a minute. Like I put off doing one for a long time, and then I finally started one like maybe 4 months ago. And I do kind of once a month, but I try to keep it religiously once a month. And I try to, do different a section on the mascots, a section on Plastic City Comic Con, stuff like that. But like I'm finding I like if you have a bit, you're actually getting to people that you cut through all the noise of like social media and you go right to their inbox. And I think it really is an effective, any indie creator out there, you should consider possibly doing a newsletter, because if people sign up for it, they're gonna get it, So
and I same here. Like it was something that I'd been told to do for a while, and I had tried it, and in some form, but I never really knew like what to do with it. And it was only until earlier this year that I was like, I think I finally have a good idea of like what content I can provide for people, and like what a newsletter would even look like. And
it's tough because you like when you come to subjects, it's always like, do you do it on a YouTube video or should I do it in a newsletter? And then like so what I ended up doing is kind of like sampling a bunch of different newsletters, and I was like, oh, I like what this guy's doing in this one section of his, and then I like this other section. So I kind of like Frankensteined my newsletter based off other people's, so
that's cool.
Yeah. It's like something to, but I see the benefit of it now after, about 4 months, and my open rate, the analytics seems pretty good, and haven't lost that many subs. You always go up and down. And, so it's all the fun game of newsletter. But yeah, I don't know. I think I recommend it. If you can make the time and do it religiously, I think it's an effective tool. How often do you do yours, Jack? Is it a weekly or monthly? Monthly, yeah. That's what I do. I try to do a monthly, and I try to stick to, make sure that's schedule sticks. So far I'm keeping up with it. So we'll see how that goes in a few months. But all right, yeah. Any last words, you guys? Anything you want to plug before we close out this stream?
Back Man-Child.
Nice. Yeah. The link is in the chat. Also, it will be in the description of the video below as well tomorrow, if you're watching this tomorrow. Same thing with Jack Holder's link to his Kickstarter is below as well. How about you, Jack? Anything else you want to shout out? Where can people find you, that kind of thing?
You can find me on Twitter at JackHolderAI. You can also find me at Arcane Industries, both on Facebook and the website www.arcaneincindustries.com.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny, anything you got
I just want to do a quick shout out to Tony James. He's got a campaign running currently, Star Noir.
Oh God, yeah, we were trying to. I know we were trying to nail a day to get him on the show, right?
He's got 35 days to go, so we can maybe try to squeeze him in the future. But I promised I'd shut him out on the show, so I'm just making good on that promise I made to him.
What's before? Like, it's on Kickstarter?
It's on Kickstarter.
What's the name of the project?
Noir Book 1.
What is it?
Star Noir Book 1.
All right, let me look it up. We'll put it up on the screen so people can see it.
Yep, it's it looks like it's just basic old school like LA noir but with aliens. Imagine
this looks cool, dude.
Alien Nation, but like pulp with a gray alien instead of like the spotted head.
Dude, I like that. That sounds great. Yeah,
it seems really cool. So
look at that cover. That's great. Yeah, this looks cool. Oh wow. Yeah, this looks awesome.
Nice.
So this is what I love about indie comics. You get all kinds of different like stories and this does look great. Yeah, let's see if we can get them on before this ends.
Yeah, for sure. Tony's been real gracious and very patient with me. So I do appreciate his patience. So I wanted to shout you out, Tony. Good luck with the campaign, and maybe we can get you on. Also, wanted to give a big thank you to both of our creators tonight, Jack Holder, Nandor. Thank you for taking your time, coming on the show, sharing your products with us. And I wish you guys the best for your campaign. Everybody go out there, back Legends of the Realm, back Manchild. You won't be disappointed.
Awesome. Thank you. Couldn't have said it better. And also, if you have money left over, back Mighty Mascots.
Mighty Mascots. Get that lunchbox.
Can't forget about
lunchbox, kid.
You know, I'm trying. I made the goal, so it's not as big of a rush. And also, I'll be in demand after the next 30 days goes. So there's time. I'd love to finally finish the campaign around 10K so that we can unlock those couple of stretch goals, get those for people too, and then also give me a nice little bump to start the next issues, you know. So hopefully I won't have to do a crowdfunder next time and just keep going. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see, you know, but better said than done, right?
Right, exactly.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna close this out. Thank you guys for watching. As always, like, subscribe, share, you know, comment too. All that stuff helps the wonderful YouTube algorithm. And then me and Johnny will be back in 2 weeks. Or actually, I think the next show, Johnny, is Global Comics. We got the Global Comics guys coming on the show.
Yep.
Which, those guys are making a huge splash in the digital world. Like I think they're surpassed Comixology at this point, I would say.
It was, you know, I've been saying that they're going to be the Comixology killer for forever now. And it was so awesome watching them grow and kind of getting in with them on the ground floor. And
it's funny, too. It's all you hear now is Global Comics. Like before, it wasn't, you know.
We've been saying it forever. They were one of our first guests.
Yeah, they were. You know, like our tiny little channel. But yeah, it's great. So yeah, we'll have I'm assuming it's going to be the same guys again, the CEO and
probably Eric and Chris, unless they bring somebody new in. Yeah.
And I'd love to hear all their new features that they got going on, and it's going to be great. So I think that's the next episode, and then I forget what we have after that. So
we're pretty booked up. I think as far back as we're far into October, maybe even November now, right?
Dude, I think I'm booking people for December now too.
Wow, holy smokes.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to have to do something, Johnny, where it's like I think we're going to have to do some other side hustle show or something to like just to keep up with this guest. It's crazy.
I like that we've doubled up because it really creates like a nice environment to chat with everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. But all right, everybody, we're going to close this out. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us. Check out these two wonderful creators' crowdfunding campaigns. And then come back in 2 weeks and join us when we talk to Global Comics, and we'll learn more about the digital revolution happening over on the Global Comics website. So as a creator, I'm sure everybody could like learn from that show. So join us in a couple weeks. Until then, have a great week and read some comics. All right. Have a good one.
Be excellent to each other.
Yeah, definitely. Bye. Have a good night.